Come learn about Jamaica with me. When Christopher Columbus arrived in Jamaica in 1494, he didn't simply discover an island, he opened the door to a new chapter in its story. 15 years later, in 1509, the first Spanish colonists arrived in Jamaica under government Juan de Esquivel. They settled first in the St. Anne's Bay area and established a town called Sevilla la Nueva, or New Seville. But Jamaica was not the Spanish colony they imagined. There was little gold and relatively few Spaniards settled on the island. Jamaica became more of a supply base for Spain's activities in the Caribbean and on the American mainland. Food, horses, weapons, and people passed through the island as Spain expanded its presence in the region. In 1534, the center of Spanish Jamaica moved south to Villa de la Vega, which would eventually become known as Spanish Town. Spanish Town became the center of government and trade. Churches and convents were built, and the settlement became the heart of Spanish Jamaica. But while the Spanish were establishing their towns, the lives of the Taino people were changing dramatically. The Spanish forced the Taino people into labor systems and introduced European diseases to a population that had little resistance to them. Their numbers declined rapidly. Some Taino resisted, some sought refuge in the interior of the island. And as the Spanish colony developed, enslaved Africans were also brought to Jamaica to work on farms and ranches. These communities and the people who lived in Jamaica during this period would become part of a much larger story that we are still following. Spanish Jamaica remained relatively small and received little attention or support from Spain. Governors struggled with disagreements within the colony, and attacks by pirates added another challenge. For more than 150 years, Jamaica remained under Spanish rule. Then, in 1655, an English fleet arrived. The Spanish colony was not well defended, and England took control of Jamaica. Spain would formally give up its claim to Jamaica in 1670, and just like that, another chapter of Jamaica's story came to an end. But the people who had lived through these years remained part of the island's story. And now we're going to follow what happened next in Jamaica's history. Come, learn about